Interesting. Conflict minerals. Today also we will cover in the last session. Yeah, conflict minerals are minerals which are mined for these conflict areas, right? But companies need to know where the material is coming from. That's where this movement started, mainly for electronics goods and cars. That a lot of these minerals are mined from Africa, mostly Congo and other places, where under very hazardous condition these people are working, and many of them also children, women, pregnant women. So in very bad conditions, they are mining those metals, and these mines are also illegal. And all this material is coming to a very formal industrial supply chain. So how this can happen, right? So then people started asking that how come the car companies do not know where the cobalt is coming, where the nickel is coming from, which goes into their car. So then they started to trace and find out. There is a book I will see. There is some economist in US also had studied, actually had gone there and studied under what conditions people mine. But it's also sitting outside. It's very easy to blame. In for those people, this is a sense of livelihood. No? So we also say child labor, but child labor in our country also in some cases it is kind of mandatory. So they are doing some way. It's not that child labor doesn't exist in West, it occurs in some other form. There also teenage boys and girls work in supermarket quite well because they earn money. There it's not considered as child labor, it is considered as financial freedom. Here you are calling child labor simply they are working in fields. Their working condition are obviously better. Even if some 14, 15-year-old are working in supermarket or in restaurants, they also are entitled for leave, sick pay, all these things. So then the conditions are okay, good. Uh,
I had, yesterday while I was going through that Wellspun case,
hmm.
again, these things trigger some thoughts.
Yes.
Although I'm not
Hmm.
an expert, but something which I had read
Hmm.
struck me about, the Zara
Hmm.
supply chain.
Yes.
They have actually reduced due to the changing fashion trends.
Yes.
So they have drastically cut down on their
On their overall portfolio, yes. Hmm.
now, how, and when I actually saw that visual of the dumping part also,
Hmm.
I contemplate like these, Zara, etc., these brands,
Hmm.
how are they taking sustainability?
Hmm.
Because there will be a lot of waste also for them because,
Yeah.
they are, into this fashion trends,
Hmm.
etc.,
Hmm.
and they sell at a huge margin.
Yes.
And then there will be some
Hmm.
waste or leftovers we don't sell.
Hmm.
So,
Zara is still always have been better than the others because their pricing is low. They have managed a tight control over their supply chain, and their thing was that they could launch in very short time. So their losses were anyway always lower than rest of the competition, who had a very long cycles. By the time they planned, it went in the market. The trend changed. That's why we always see
I had
50%
seen
off, 70% off.
a case somewhere about
Ah.
this. So
Hmm.
that is what. Now, how are they? I mean, their sustainability practices compared to the.
Which is good. I have also not seen what Zara is doing exactly now in the last 5 years or so. They must be doing something. It's a good. Maybe we should check. So let's see what other global H&M. Since I lived in Scandinavia, I know. So they also promote them, but they are actually not very sustainable. They themselves, it came in the news big time that they collect from the consumers and they are actually sending it to landfill. So, but in from Europe, lot of clothes anyway, used clothes go to second hand kind of clothes go to Africa, and there is a market. So people are buying. So that's fine. Again, it is actually be not been dumped. Somebody is wearing it, so it's fine. Also, you will be surprised. Here we don't do it at all. In very rich countries like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, it's a very common practice. They call it loppe market or flea market. So every summer they actually sell off some of their old stuff. Very rich people will sit on the road in the park. They will whatever household goods or other things they want to sell, and they get new things. They will almost like it's like a picnic kind of thing. People come and sell off their old stuff, and people buy obviously. So maybe I like these clothes and I don't want to wear it. I have worn it for 5 years. Somebody is willing to wear it, they will sell. There is no status or this kind of consciousness. So in a society itself, recycle a lot.
That again reminds me of
Hmm.
an old practice which was
Hmm.
much prevalent earlier, but nowadays also
Hmm.
I see, I mean,
Hmm.
although it has reduced,
Yes.
you know, you are, but I mean, old clothes
Hmm.
against which you get stainless steel
Yes, yes,
utensils.
yes. So those people used to come, right? So
So,
this.
so that is also, I mean, going
Hmm.
back to the
Ah,
circular economy and those
yes.
things,
Ah.
old practice again.
Yes. Other things which I think can be done in India, I have not seen much. In UK, they don't have this kind of second-hand markets, but there are charity shops. So these Red Cross or other many, there are hundreds of different kinds of charities which work in UK. There also you can donate your old stuff. It's not just clothes, books,
Yeah,
everything they
that is
take,
something which has been
and they
done.
sell at very almost throwaway price,
For
like
example,
£1, £2.
our institute also, they
Hmm.
have those,
Ah,
societies who do this kind of
yeah.
donation drive every
Hmm.
quarter or so, or something like
But
that.
this can easily be done, right? Clothes have to be reasonably good condition. Books also, obviously not torn books. Many other things can be sold, right?
That
They
they
should be.
check at that,
Huh.
source point only
Yes.
before, and
Yeah.
then they,
Hmm.
that SRC we call it, social
Yeah.
responsibility certificate.
Yeah.
So regarding apparel, there
Hmm.
is an informal chain, I would say,
Hmm.
after these big fat weddings. Those dresses are being resold. I mean, there are takers, or maybe another group at a next wedding. This
Yes.
does happen.
Yes.
And one or two shops are there in Kolkata, I have seen. They have come up with this, that these are the ones which are being used once or twice, and then again they are being sold in very good condition. They are taking those measures to bring them back to the
Yeah.
as new condition and selling it over
Yeah.
there. But
So,
it's kind of a
yeah.
very close one, because just to address to the wedding.
Yeah, but even that can be a business now and an
Yes,
online
yes.
platform, right? Yes. Hmm.
Sir, you just mentioned the flea markets of Europe and the first world countries. Sir, there are garage sales happening in India also, but
Okay.
I think India is so huge.
Huge, yes.
So
It's
there are
not so
these
easily visible.
Instagram pages I've seen. I have not been active on Instagram and Facebook for a very long time, but when I used to be there and active on Instagram, I used to see this Instagram pages where thrifting is very popular and it's catching up, sir.
Okay.
And also, I am from Kolkata, so I know that in Godiahat and Newmarket, there are these stalls, huge, like on both sides of the streets, where old thrifted clothes, I don't know from which part of the world they come from, but affordable. First world, first world. Even I
Okay.
had that idea that very affordable. 250 in 250 rupees you get an denim jacket.
Okay.
I think it's
Yes,
readily.
okay, that's fine. Then, but it
Yes.
has to be possibly scaled up and more
Yes.
organized way. It has to be done, as I say.
And other cities also, sir, I have not seen. Only in Mumbai I have seen. There
Mumbai,
is
yes,
again.
always had been, always had been. Previously, now when we were young, the air hostesses used to bring.
Okay. Yeah.
Previously, in our area, there used to be one air hostess, and Air India, and she used to bring all this half smuggled or whatever. So she used to sell a lot of those stuff. Huh? But this has to be organized now and possibly at a scale. So maybe there is a business opportunity there, also kind of a platform for doing such things. So it can be done at a scale. So there is a demand. Clearly, in our country, there will be demand. Also, I have seen in UK, in our cases also now people are wearing for graduation, for convocation, a lot of kurtas and different things, and so nobody actually buys those things. Those are all kind of used for that day and then given back. So they buy. Who will buy a formal suit and everything just for a day, right? So the UK students also do this. Another thing I have seen which is not very ethical. UK has a very strange practice that when you buy something, you can return within kind of 1 month. There obviously the Asians will exploit
Asians
it.
only.
They will students will buy these clothes before interviews or whatever, wear it, wash it, clean it again, and give it within 1 month again, because they will say, "Oh, this didn't fit."
It is good that they wash and give it back. Do you know IRCTC blankets?
Yes.
What is the frequency of their washing? Anyone? can guess. They don't do it. I mean, like, if you are traveling, then, the SOP is like once a week.
Wow.
There are reasons also, sir. They are
Yeah.
very ill paid.
I mean, they are so ill paid. Once I was traveling to Bangalore via Duronto, and I had a talk, and I could understand people. I mean, the towels and all, the purpose that it is given for, they use it for a different purpose. And if there is any damage, those casual workers, 1 day salary is being cut off, which is very, very bad because it is outsourced. And they have, and they are like, they are working for their daily, I mean, wages, but this is a very bad practice which happens. So they also find out ways how to skip or reduce the cost on their
So
part.
they will minimize handling. If any handling is creating some damage,
Yes.
they will not even touch it. No? So,
If any damage happens, they have to pay out of their pocket. So, like sometimes people used to take the bedsheet also with them. So they have to pay
Yes.
out of
no,
their pocket.
but this is again something that the service provider is responsible, not the employee. No?
That bedsheet is not so much of a problem. It's actually the towel.
Ah.
Okay? Because you will see that sometimes they don't give the towel with that, pattern. The bedsheet and blanket. Then you have to ask for,
Yes.
the towels.
Your towels are possibly people are taking, and it's easy to get misplaced.
Use mic, sir.
Ah. Yes. Okay. Any other anecdotes? No.
Sir, one case I want to ask.
Mike. Yes.
Regarding Volkswagen clean diesel, that was a big case
Big,
which had
yeah.
happened.
Yes.
And I mean, we are talking about technology which is improvising, but they took the loopholes of the
Yes,
technology. And I mean, now also Volkswagen cars, if you go to the pollution testing, very few places they get tested, and the others they cannot even get that. So that means, I don't know, is it really pollution free that they are saying?
No, possibly not, because it was also an eye opener for the entire industry that somebody like them who has been so many years, it's an old company with a strong heritage, that they were also doing this, right? So obviously people lost jobs, CEOs and senior people.
So they
and
gave compensation, very
They
good, but
gave,
they again came back into the business.
Yes.
So now also is that
now also there should be some checks and balance, but we don't know. Nothing has come out so openly that how to what extent they have improved those practices, right? But it cannot go on. We are assuming that possibly they would have realized, okay.
Sir, any audit practices are there in Germany? I mean, their main plant which is there. So
everything should be audited, but in that case also they might have manipulated everything.
because it's a strange thing, sir, because within entire Kolkata there are only 2 pumps wherein this
Because
can be
their
pollution
products
is
are also,
tested.
because it's not easy to test. They were easy to test. That requires possibly certain specific equipments, right? They have made it so difficult that nobody can.
Yes.
So it was quite deliberate. So but that had resulted in a very strong reputation damage, even within Europe. The Volkswagen cars do not sell that much now, right?
Yes.
And older cars people have disposed of.
Even here, the sales are big.
Yes. Yeah. So this is a big trust issue.
There are so many competitors.
Yes. Now this is anyway the industry is now bleeding. It's in very bad shape. So, but they will not be able to get away with this. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know full answer what is happening inside. Okay, so we will continue on this topic of circular economy. We have understood, I'm not going through this, but normally we talk about 3 R's. So this paper, and then there are some other papers nowadays are talking about almost 9 possible pathways of circular economy, starting from almost refuse, that we won't do this, won't continue with this product. So product, almost making the product redundant or abandoning its function. But then rethink was mainly about sharing economy, sharing the product. What we know more is reducing. So reducing the material content or improving the efficiency of material usage in the product. So this is about smart product use and manufacture. Then is extending lifespan, where most of the R's are coming. This is about reusing, repair, refurbishing, remanufacturing and repurpose. Most of the applications we will see are in these areas. So there is slight difference. So repair, we all know, repairing it to so that it comes back to its original function. Reuse, again we are using this discarded product for some other to make it in good condition and fulfills its original function. Refurbish is kind of an old product which is upgraded. Remanufacture is parts are discarded product are used again for the same function, combined with something else and manufacturing a different product. Repurpose also we see slight difference between repurpose and reuse. So repurpose discarded products or its parts with a different function. It's not the same function. So it becomes a completely different kind of product with different functionality. And then recycling and recover. Now, how the big question for us, generally companies or in the supply chain, is also, as I have said, which of these options is best for us? Which of these options best for us at an individual material or a part level? Overall, companies have targets we want to recycle. Most companies are nowadays saying we want to use 100% recycled plastic, or we will change to 30% of this thing over by 2030. But actually finding which products or which materials to recycle, there is still a very big difficulty, because as I said yesterday, when the products are returned, we don't know the conditions. So we have to actually open it up, find out what is the best way. And it's still very skill driven, right? People, if there are skilled technicians, they will be able to find out what is the best way to do it. And that's why we are moving towards a more technology oriented way. If with an image, if we can reduce the time of that decision making in an efficient way, we will be able to recover and salvage more. So if more time is lost, then the value of the product will deteriorate very rapidly, right? So this is one of the big challenges there. So we'll look at a few examples, both from India as well as different parts of the world. But just to again understand, many of you will know this, the extent of the problem we are facing here. So obviously US ranks first in this, 34 billion kgs annually, the worst plastic waste. But India and China, because of the size of the countries and population, we are also high. So 26.3 billion for India. This data may be 2019-20. But all other countries are also, even the more Western world, Germany, UK, given their size, they are quite high. They are much smaller than India, but still their numbers are kind of 3 times less than India. But the only advantage they have is the waste management system is quite kind of well developed, at least over last 20 years. So they have good infrastructure to process, and this is not new. So they have done this for many years, this recycling using 3 bin approach. So all our household, we have to ourselves segregate, put it in the different bins meticulously every day. The garbage containers will come and they will take it, and there is a specific spot they will take it for all of these things, and this is being processed, right? So now they are also asking different to segregate at our level, different types of plastic also they are asking us to segregate. So the thin ones, the shopping ones, they want us to put in a separate plastic bag, and there is a color coding for this. So all these things are happening. So that because of that infrastructure being available, they are able to process more, but they generate much more. For everything there is a plastic packaging there. So even cucumbers will come in nice plastic packaging there, because for shelf life. So food industry also is partly responsible. So they want to increase shelf life, and everything is kind of coming in a mechanized fashion there over long distances. So everything is packed in plastic. And that also helps because everything is barcoded, not like here in supermarkets, in everywhere, everything is kind of barcoded, right? So that's why they need a medium to where they will put the sticker or the code. But it creates a lot of plastic waste. The level of plastic waste in food and grocery shopping is much higher. Here we don't pack everything, right? Every fruit, vegetable thing are not packed, but there everything comes packed in plastic. So we have to, at home when we bring those things, we have to segregate, put it and do it. But smaller also again the coastal areas, because of countries with long coastline, then the ocean is getting polluted. So, ocean plastic pollution out of the overall plastic pollution is also quite significant. More than 1000 rivers account for 80% of the global annual emissions, which again range between 0.8 billion to 2.7 billion kilograms. There you will see actually Philippines is highest. It's small country, but they have many islands, and they are the biggest polluters regarding ocean plastic waste. Again, India, Malaysia, China, Indonesia, most of these Southeast Asian countries where the rivers and ocean is actually polluted with plastic. Then I will look at a few examples. Let's see if we, this is a company I worked with, I mean, we interviewed as part of a paper. So, this, they started doing this for textile. Since we are in the kind of textile theme, I thought this is a good time. So, she was a textile engineer and she wanted to do something. So, the entire business, they do not sell any normal textiles. So, everything is, sorry, is it closed everything? So, and they actually have big operations now in India. So, I think there is an office in Gurgaon, she mentioned. So, they also source lot from the Indian coastline, both in south and east. And these materials they process and then they convert into clothes. Mostly you can see jackets and coat linings or whatever, all those kinds of things. But since she is a textile engineer, she knows, she maintains the exact quality what is needed. So, they do all this processing themselves. Why I interviewed them was part of also using blockchain. So, I will again discuss, because many the retailers, they were asking why the price is not necessarily low, right? For the people think it's a recycled plastic you are using, so why the price is high? Is the mic not working? Slides have come, right? Yeah. So, then she had to prove that they are doing all this testing to really find out the right quality of plastic, the lot of processing is needed, and ensuring that this is the right grade of plastic they are used. So, that is why the price is high, but they had to fully demonstrate this entire process and traceability using blockchain. And that is why I do not know exactly what the price difference, but price is not like 20% or 50% of the original price of those jackets. That is because they are using recycled material, the price is reasonably high, but it is also high quality product and lot of processing is being used. Other thing to note here is these kind of companies are open to talk to you if you find out. So, I spend, that is why, a lot of time to find out even global companies who are very innovative and they have India connections, right. So it's not, and this lady is very open. So if some of you are working on textile, she'll be happy to talk, but you have to do the homework to find them out, reach out to them, and then over some period of time they will be happy to talk. So in COVID times, all of us were at home. I searched lot of different kinds of companies, and we managed to interview them. Obviously we could not visit, but we could interview many of them, right? And they sent lot of material. So it's not that they will and particularly now, if you say you are a researcher from a leading university in India, you are working on this topic, they will be willing, more than actually Indian companies, they will be willing. They all want to do business in India. If you invite them, they might also come. So she might be visiting Gurgaon office, right? So sometime we can actually, you may think of inviting if there are certain.
Sir, even Decathlon also, I mean, practices the same thing. I mean, instead of fleece, it's written over there. It is recycled plastic bottles and recycled materials. Also, the same thing that they do.
But they may, for Decathlon, they might not be doing themselves, right? So they might be some. I don't know. So I don't know whether they might be also supplying to Decathlon. We don't know.
And the prices are very competitive.
Okay. The other one I have told you many times, I really like this fishing filament, and this has a huge opportunity in India. I have not seen people doing this. You might have not seen this. So this is, they are recycling the fishing nets and the nylon they are converting to 3D printing filaments. And from that, this boy, as part of his master's thesis project, he made buttons out of those things. And those buttons are all locally produced, right? So it had a huge carbon footprint implications. The other similar company is Plastic Bank. You can also look at it. It's a Canada-based, two Canadians, but their entire business is, they studied that. So they all collect from those locations, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, all the plastic waste. Again, they process, but this is mainly for FMCG companies, the shampoo bottles and others. So most of the FMCG companies, if you now see, they are saying that by 2030, you want to use 100% recycled plastic in packaging. So they have found out that niche opportunity. There are all of these big companies which have very high volumes of production, and they are saying all their packaging will be 100% recycled. But where will they get that recycled material, right? So they need players like this who will then collect all these plastic bottles, PET bottles, or different kinds of things, segregate, sort, process, and then provide this and ensure that it is 100% recycled. So now some of these kind of companies have come up. This is also, you can imagine, it's a very difficult and complex process. Across the world, from very dirty places, you are collecting both from municipal waste as well as from river or ocean waste, then they are collecting. But the very good thing I liked is they are using the actual rag pickers, the pickers who are there, but they kind of, this is a very informal trade, very informal trade across the world, but they kind of formalize them. So they give them uniform, they give them training, they actually bring it already a little bit segregated. Then they are paid kind of online using a wallet. They can use this in supermarkets. So their quality of life has improved significantly. So there is also a social impact they could show, right? While they are actually recycling and there is an environmental impact they are processing, the lives of those people, if you go to their website, you will see. So many of these people, their children could go to school. It's a huge difference for a rag picker, and this is there for all of these our countries. Many such people rely on this livelihood, and previously they will be threatened by local gangs and all these things. Now they have kind of they have their employment, they have a kind of better purpose in life and quality.
So how is the petrochemical industry tackling this? Like there are reduction in plastics. I mean, the finished products in different cases.
Yes.
So that I'm thinking from the other side.
Yes.
It's a threat to their,
Yes.
business. So,
but I don't know whether the numbers are still that significant to make a dent. They are so huge that yes, there is a fresh virgin material being used, but I think if you see, many of them are also moving, diversifying into kind of renewable. If you look at our oil and gas companies in India, they are also trying to move into renewables, right? Not everybody, They realize their energy, they are an energy company, not necessarily they have to position themselves as a petroleum company anymore. Right? So I think that is one way some of these companies are doing. Plus, they are also providing value-added services, not
So
just
maybe looking for substitutes within that.
yes, yes. So they, I don't know. For example, this synthetic bio-based or cellulosic ethanol, for example. So,
Yeah.
so even those kind of things, plus more high value-added products, possibly they are making where the margins are higher and they will not bother so much on this. But I am not, have not studied petrochemical so much. I don't know. The other applications, some of you are aware, we were discussing yesterday. India also has different kinds of fruits, vegetables, and lot of fibrous fruits. So these any fiber, I didn't know, and maybe textile people know well. Literally, almost anything can be converted to another fiber or yarn, right? So it's orange peels. There is an Italian company, so they make this kind of textile products from orange peels, right? And then the other one, the Q milk, is from Germany. So they make from this waste milk. Again, they process it to make it yarn like this. So this is possible, and the technology exists. But in our cases, I think many kind of applications, different agricultural produce and waste which we have, can be potentially converted to not just fiber but many other kinds of products. Yeah. Now I was looking at what is happening. I think still, I mean, there are a lot of good work happening, I must say. Some at a government level, some obviously individual entrepreneurs and small startups. But I could see at least there are some now processing facilities being coming up quite extensively. So Haryana, it seems they have a large cloth recycling cluster. Anybody from Haryana know this? Can tell a little more? No, I don't know. So there is in Panipat, it seems they have the largest cloth recycling center. Huh. Good to see. So UP, I don't know where it is in UP exactly, but there is a Indo-German Technical Cooperation on marine litter ecosystem. Why in UP marine litter also, I don't know. Somebody again, the local politician has made it, set it up there. There is no marine there, but who is going to swim? That means all the things are going. Whatever they are studying is also coming from the coastal area, traveling all the way to UP. Indore has some waste processing CNG plant. Bangalore has wastewater. There are a lot of things, and Kochi Metro has done something for the construction materials. There are also these kind of these Indian companies. Now there are new. You might have seen this Art Tatva is good. So they are taking from all the ceramic waste, all the kitchen, bathroom discarded materials. Now they are making into ceramic products, mugs, and so on. This one was the one I was saying, Eco Curry. So they do it all from the plastic waste, mostly all these single-use chips packets and others. They are making into different kinds of products, card holder, table mats, many bags. You can see their website. I think they are doing very well. This one was old. I don't know what is the status now. There was some controversy around this, and I have seen even West Bengal government has started something on these lines. So in Damdam or Nagarbajar, there is a facility now where they take all the flowers and they process into dhoop and agarbatti sticks. So this was the earlier one, but there is a patent issue. Somebody said that they already had this process and there was some legal things going on. But the idea is obviously very good. This is again a huge waste. All the flower waste which goes to temples mostly and then to the rivers. So in Kanpur, they collect this and they use the women self-help group and they produce, make this mostly agarbattis, but many other kinds of products, right? Temple flower waste. But this is from an operations perspective, this is a very interesting logistical supply chain network design. There is a perishability issue. Right? Yeah, this one we have talked. Then there are also construction. This part I think we have seen many examples also in India now. A lot of things are now being used in roads which are from recycled materials, different industrial waste. for both pavements and roads, highways, etc. Recycle X is a company who is doing this. This is one repurpose one. So, this is coconut leaves repurposed to drinking straws and pens. So, this is sunbird straws. Interesting. So, people are having ideas in India, a lot of good ideas, and the source of raw material is very kind of unique to India. These are the kind of things we should do which nobody else can do, right? These are things which are abundantly available in India. So sunbird straws have done some of these things. This is global remanufacturing. I have not seen kind of large Indian manufacturers doing this, but this Caterpillar in US, so they have a remanufacturing service for many years, or more than 20 years. So their products, as you know, is very capital intensive. These are large engines in construction equipment vehicles, and the vehicle will be size of this room, so the engine itself is big. So, and for such things they very quickly realized that it's very difficult to replace a completely new engine for the customer. So, remanufacture whatever old engines are coming back, they will refurbish or they will take parts out, and this is a big business for them. The reman services is a big business for Caterpillar. Plus this kind of, since in the next session we will talk about social entrepreneurship. So, this is again one thing, and let's see if you can hear the video here. So, West Warriors is a program. They have many things. If you go to their website, you can see. We will see what they are doing here again in terms of Ganga West. So, you can see all of these videos. They are actually quite educative. I am sure some good work is done. This one is the plastic waste in Ganga.
गंगा एक पवित्र नदी, आस्था और पवित्रता का प्रतीक। इसका पानी अनगिनत भारतीयों के लिए जीवन का एक सतत स्रोत है। गंगा हरिद्वार और ऋषिकेश में हिमालय की तलहटी से मिलती है और भारत और दुनिया के लाखों लोग यहाँ आते हैं। हर कदम पर लोग अपने विश्वास को साझा करते हैं, बेहतर भविष्य के लिए प्रार्थना करते हैं। घाटों से लेकर सड़कों तक यही गंगा की संपन्न संस्कृति है। ये दोनों शहर दिन प्रतिदिन बढ़ते तो जा रहे हैं, मगर इनके साथ साथ एक बड़ी चुनौती भी बढ़ती जा रही है। हरिद्वार और ऋषिकेश में बढ़ती जनसंख्या के साथ साथ हर साल लाखों दर्शनार्थियों और श्रद्धालुओं के आगमन से हरिद्वार और ऋषिकेश में लाखों टन प्लास्टिक कचरा भर रहा है। ये केवल उन लोगों और जानवरों के लिए एक समस्या नहीं जो यहाँ रहते हैं, बल्कि उन लोगों के लिए भी एक मुद्दा है जो हमारे शहरों को साफ रखने में मदद करते हैं। जो कचरा उठाया नहीं जा सकता वह हमारी गंगा नदी में बह जाता है। ये पवित्र नदी दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी नदियों में से एक है और हर दिन प्लास्टिक से भर रही है। हमें रोकने का प्रयास करना होगा और साथ मिलकर करना होगा। मेरी गंगा, मेरी जिम्मेदारी। अविरल का लक्ष्य गंगा में जाने वाले प्लास्टिक कचरे को कम करना है। हम हरिद्वार और ऋषिकेश के लोगों को प्लास्टिक कचरे के प्रबंधन के लिए एक सतत दृष्टिकोण अपनाने में मदद करेंगे। हरिद्वार और ऋषिकेश के नगर निगमों के साथ अविरल इन शहरों में हजारों परिवारों और परिदर्शक के कचरे के बारे में सोचने के तरीके को बदलने के मिशन पर है। उनके डस्टबिन से लेकर गंगा के किनारे तक परिवर्तन लाने में तत्पर है। अविरल जिम्मेदार नागरिकों के साथ काम करने में भरोसा रखता है। इस परियोजना के माध्यम से हम ये सुनिश्चित करेंगे कि साथ मिलकर गंगा में प्लास्टिक के कचरे को कैसे कम किया जा सकता है। ये प्रोजेक्ट सफाई कर्मचारियों और कचरा प्रबंधन समाधानों के माध्यम से सक्रिय नगर निगमों के साथ काम करने में सक्षम है। घरों से कचरा संग्रह केंद्रों तक। यही प्लास्टिक का भविष्य है। ये परिवर्तन का एक चक्र है। आइए साथ मिलकर काम करें। हरिद्वार और ऋषिकेश में स्वच्छ और सुंदर गंगा बनाने की ओर एक कदम बढ़ाएं।
Vikas, do you have any insights of what is happening maybe in Himachal or Uttarakhand on?
Yeah, few organizations like ACC I have visited personally. What they are doing as part of maybe they are also highlighting this as their CSR activities. They have set up this huge supply chain network in and around area. I think more than 100 kilometer, and then they are collecting all the waste, and they are burning this waste to very high temperature, and they are converting this energy to run their plants. So this is one initiative by ACC that is in somewhere near Mandi district. So that is one thing. Other is I have seen in Hoshiarpur we have 2 big plants related to this spinning and weaving industry. So what they are doing, they are collecting the sugar cane after from these sugar mills, whatever the waste they are generating, and that they are also converting the electricity. So earlier they were hugely dependent on the local power supply and then power cuts and all that. Now they are not only fulfilling their requirements, but they are supplying to their communities as well. So that is a few things I have seen. I'm not sure about the one you were talking about in Panipat and that. So that I have not visited, but these two I have visited personally as part of my research. So we did one brainstorming session with ACC, that factory also. So there they highlighted how they are doing this. But this is I think great initiative because see at the same time they are also targeting as their CSR activity because here in Rourkela also, if you go, this is beautiful city Rourkela, and totally maintained by SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited. And so there the kind of setup they have, they are collecting the waste daily. Not only before doing this they were purchasing fertilizers for developing gardens in and around, so that was cost to MC. So after that they started recycling and converting into this fertilizer also, and they are collecting wet waste and dry waste. So like I was telling on the very first day in my session that I worked with those people, Rourkela Municipal Commissioner, and we published after that research. And they have built one plastic road. So that plastic road is also made up of this waste only. And surprisingly, the age of that plastic road is longer than the metallic road we are using. So these the kind of initiative which now under smart city mission I believe many are working towards that. Like this movement. Otherwise also if you talk about, we have that very traditional kind of classification of the waste, yellow, red, black, blue, and now after that we simplified our process because this is the problem is who will collect in different dustbin. Collection is a big problem. So now if we'll convert it only in a dry and wet waste, maybe somewhere the households will also help us to support in that way. But yes, then we need to educate the people also. That is the first thing. We have set up the dustbin everywhere, but then it's very difficult, challenging task to complete that. And then to maintain the continuity of this system is also challenging. But SAIL has done beautifully in Rourkela, and this Rourkela is beautiful city they have maintained. Only few area, maybe less than 10% of the area, but otherwise they have got beautiful.
पहले तो सर कितना दिन पहले की बात करें, लेकिन अब प्रेजेंट टाइम पे सर शुगर मिल वेस्टर्न यूपी में तो लार्ज क्वांटिटी पे शुगर का ये जो भी है, तो वहाँ पे शुगर वेस्ट वो लेके CNG में कन्वर्ट लगभग आप हर 1 किलोमीटर पे इस तरीके जो सर प्लांट बता रहे हैं आप देखें, बुलंदशहर है, मेरठ रीजन है और शामली, इन सब जगह पे लगभग बड़े स्केल पे इस तरीके का प्रोडक्शन CNG प्रोडक्शन, और जब से ये गवर्नमेंट हेल्प भी कर रही है इस चीज़ों में।
So that thing is needed. If it is happening in scale, it's not in India's context. It should happen in scale, not just in few places. But I mean, Jamshedpur and Rourkela, these are examples are corporates. They are almost owning the city and they are managing. But how can we do it in the rest of the country, where otherwise we have to tell the biggest employers there to kind of also support as part of their CSR, right?
No, as I said earlier, that like
Hmm.
I was mentioning about sale.
Hmm.
So we had this CSR thing much before.
Yeah, much because yeah.
Because that was a part of our mission.
Yes.
Social responsibility,
Hmm.
keeping the employees happy. So if you are, in sometimes these townships are very small. So even quality education is also required for the children.
Hmm.
So they set up schools.
Everything there
set up
inside.
Hospitals.
Ah.
Okay, whatever, so that you are comfortable, you can concentrate on work and your family
Yeah.
is also taken care of.
Yes.
You can't imagine what you mentioned about Rourkela, Bhilai, all these are very planned.
Yes.
But even if you go to the mines area, like there are some mines like Kiribu, Meghaluru in South Jharkhand, Odisha, who are there. So even there they have Kendriya Vidyalayas. Even there they take care of the community. So that is there in their blood. And even if you go to Jamshedpur, so you will see distinctly when you enter Jamshedpur, there are two sides of this. One is maintained by Tatas, and the other is there. So that is a stark kind of any layman can actually know about it.
Yes.
But as I said that again there are very responsible people who are there, and these kind of measures they have been taking a long time, and now also they are practicing this sustainability is a major kind of
Maybe in one of these PPP private partnership based models is may work, because the wherever corporates are involved, these kind of big corporations, they are able to do much better because they don't have those other constraints, right? So,
And moreover, they are also getting support from the government.
Ah,
They are into
yes.
this kind of business. So then they are getting used concession in the tariffs also.
Yes, yes.
That is also one of the points.
Yes.
And those hospitals and those schools are not only for their employees.
Ah.
I have seen the hospital they have built in Rourkela. It's a big hospital. They are, I know, struggling for getting doctors to use those equipments, but yes, that facility they have set up is mind blowing. So even government hospitals nowhere close to those facilities.
Yeah.
So that is kind of initiative is coming from there. But then again, the thing is, we have all these schemes, movement by campaigns by Indian government also. But then what I believe personally is this can only happen once the very first point is the public. So recycling will come later on. First, the collection is very important. Whether we are able to collect the waste or not. So if they are burning in their home only and or in the streets only, so then the very purpose is, I think.
So either one, there are multiple options. One is these social entrepreneurs, one is large companies. The others which I see, which is probably not working that well here, is in Western world, there are these kind of research projects which are created, which by default have to be multidisciplinary. Right? People from engineering, social science. For this kind of problem, we need people with background in plastic and textile on the engineering side, some social science people who will actually not just business, but people can those kind of ethnographic studies, and this is very common in Europe and to some extent also in UK. Many such projects are funded, and you are not supposed to do it in your entire country. You take your local area and do these projects, very in-depth field studies, and make some interventions and show results. 3 years, 5 years, you will get a project, quite a good amount of money, and local universities, but multidisciplinary team has to be formed. They fund even full PhDs sometimes. PhDs will work on this, and then you can see the results. No? But sometimes madam will also say that, okay, you have done this, how to follow it up and actually implement is still difficult, but you can show that what is possible, what is the real impact, what needs to be done, And then, but with these results, if the local administration, the local, they are also satisfied, they might be able to follow it up and do it. But now, this has to be done at that level, I think, at a very local level.
So after we published that what they were doing at Rourkela, so then because of that COVID-19 outbreak, so you just imagine whatever waste we were generating, now that waste is now coming in large quantity. So the capacities are still limited. The transportation capacities, storage, and then disposal, those things were there. So then again we had this project with the RMC, and they said we need to identify some maybe mobile locations, or maybe some alternative location where we can treat this extra waste coming out of households, because now recycling and all those directly will be dangerous, maybe dangerous, because of this now infection is there all around. So then this was part of our study. We identified two or three locations where maybe alternatively we can go. We decided the locations for setting up foreign field hospital, so that if crowd will come in numbers, so how we can handle that. And not only at that time the waste was only coming from hospitals, we have vaccine center, from there also so much waste we were generating. So that how to channelize that, so that so that is means now it's not only the management perspective will come into picture. You need to define the routing system also, how we can best way. We need to take care of the cost as well. So all those people will come together, only then it will work. I think interdisciplinary only will work. Otherwise talking only about the idea, or only the end part commercialization in between, we don't have that to show.
But even in these projects, it is common sometimes to involve the startups.
Yes.
They will work with you, but you are essentially doing the research which will also help them. So they take then and commercialize.
Yes.
So ideally, that there has to be a very all different stakeholders have to be involved, and government officials should also be involved. They should be invited, and they should know what is happening in the project.
Probably that may be the one of the reasons why they now Indian government has come up with the FTBIs, business incubation centers at HEIs. So now we have in-house our entrepreneurs. So if we have some problem, we can collaborate with them. Now they have allowed faculty also to be part of that startup. We can be officially, we can be part of that startup. We can work with the students. If we have some idea, they can develop the technology, and this is how we can set up the system. So that ecosystem we are developing. But yes, that effort. I don't know about that, but now it is done now.
More formalized, yes.
Sir, more so like if I just say the new NEP system which has come in, it is actually giving rise to that multidisciplinary part.
Yes.
But then now again, few days back, there was minimum requirements for assistant professors and all, wherein this incubator, the professor, one of the points that he must have, that is he can be one of the educators in the startups and incubator system. This is kind of a must have now. So it's like coming the other way around, that you have to do it. So now they will also go out in search of that. Previously it was like, if I only want it, then only I'll go ahead and in search of these startups.
There would have been
but
lot
now
of
it's
problems
a must.
to do that. Others will become jealous if you do. Now everybody is doing that.
Exactly.
Sir also mentioned about the plastic where
Yes.
How we use the plastic waste to prepare construction of the road. So basically, there was a startup based in Karnataka named KK Plastic.
Okay.
So they basically what they do, they have their patent where they basically convert the plastic waste to asphalt, and they again they converted into plastic based bituminous were basically used in construction of road. So they probably construct more than 1,000 kilometers of road in Karnataka.
Okay.
So it's a very successful startup we can consider.
Yeah, and that has been a very useful case. Many places I have seen in India now this has been done, right? This is another little bit related. So they have started in garbage cafe. So people who are bringing the waste, they are giving food. So they get. So this is more of a social thing. But I also wanted to talk. Anybody knows this person? He is from Holland. He is a very young person. He actually started. You can see this is a company called Ocean Cleanup. He is a CEO now, but at 14 years of age, he started this. So he went on vacation to some places and he saw all this plastic waste in the beaches and ocean. And now he has a big company. Still, it is kind of largely social, run through endowments and funds. But let's see, the videos are amazing. What he has been doing in ocean, his own technology, fully developed by him with a small team. And now they are mostly working on the rivers. I don't know whether India has invited him or not, but he should do. Because there is no point in also sometimes reinventing the wheel. So if these people are already there, the Pacific Garbage Pack also they are working. Let's see if there are some videos.
At the Ocean Cleanup, our mission is to rid the world's oceans of plastic, and part of that is to prevent more plastic from reaching the oceans. With our research, we found that rivers are the arteries that carry the plastic from land to sea. And what we found is that just 1% of rivers is responsible for almost 80% of all the plastic going to the ocean. So if we stop the plastic there, we have a really good shot, I think, at rapidly stopping more plastic from going to the ocean. So with our interceptors, which we put into the mouth of the heaviest polluting rivers in the world, we hope to catch the plastic before it becomes ocean plastic. Now, 1% of rivers sounds easy. In a way, it's good news, but on the other hand, it's still 1,000 rivers. So that's a large number, and we want to do this in a matter of years. So, of course, on one hand, it's really important that we have solutions that are scalable, that we can just build many of in series. Of course, that's what's really ingrained in the philosophy of these interceptors. But at the same time, we've also come to learn that every river is different. As one of my colleagues always likes to say, if you've seen one river, you've seen one river. If you think about things like tidal differences, current speeds, the width of rivers, the depth, are there vessels or not? What kind of vessel traffic? Do you have water hyacinths, so these green plants like you see in this river, or not? So there's all these different variables, and ultimately, if we want to be effective at closing the tap, we need to always be able to have an effective solution for every one of these 1,000 rivers. We need to have the right solution for the right river. And that's why we have this portfolio of different kinds of interceptors, where we can always choose the right solution for each of these different set of circumstances. So besides the interceptor original, we also have the interceptor barriers combined with an interceptor tender, which is a mobile solution, so you can service different rivers. For any river, for any country where we need to deploy, we need to set up consortia of partners to make this a success. So you need the government relations, in terms of permitting, etc. You need an operator to run these machines. You need a waste management partner to make sure that the waste collected is properly disposed of. So you can have this sort of network of partners around it. So helping to create a buzz in the country, help to secure the right partners, I think that can tremendously accelerate that process, to really deploy interceptors at a high rate. When I look at our team, I see a group of people that is extremely dedicated and has this mindset of, okay, we might not have figured everything out, but we'll find out along the way. We'll learn by doing, because ultimately these things may be difficult, but the ocean doesn't care whether we find it difficult. You know, this needs to be done, and eventually we'll find a way.
So do have a look. They have many videos. They see what they are doing for the Pacific garbage patch as well as for all these different rivers. So many different videos are there. Yeah, use the mic.
So if we talk about the Indian scenario, the Indian rivers, if we talk about the Indian river systems, the Indian river ecosystem is very different in the way that we pollute it in a very different way. The ways that we have seen here are very different, in the sense that people do not actually throw or dump skeletons of gods and goddesses in rivers, and people do not actually pollute it in a religious way and then tell that, okay, we were just following our religion and no one can say anything. I just read a thing that a few days ago that really touched me, that spirituality is also understanding that you cannot just worship your own god, but you also have to respect everything around you, and that also includes nature. That also includes your fellow beings. Not in a very non-anthropocentric way. It also includes the animals.
Yes.
So, and plants, of course. So I'm just wondering that how will this work in an Indian context? For example, I'll just cite an example. We have a small pond here near the Subdup area in IIT Kharagpur, and I am the member of the Animal Welfare Association. So I usually go and feed the fishes there. So after the pujas, after the Durga Puja break, after the Kali Puja, Diwali, the break, the pond is horribly dirty, and Durga Puja and Kali Puja usually comes after the monsoon.
Yeah.
Yes, also after the Chhat. Yes, right. So, and these festivals usually come after the monsoon. So after the monsoon, the pond looks beautiful. But usually after this festivals, it's horrible how the pond looks. And me and my fellow members of the association, we have often wondered that students do not usually perform pujas here.
Yeah.
The pujas are always
Done by the local
done by
community.
staffs, professors. So I mean, it's actually distressing, the least, to say that how the pond is, I mean, polluted. So I was wondering if there's a solution like this in the Indian context of cleaning the rivers, the ponds, or the ocean also in many cases.
So these people, they are not working in the rivers in Western Europe. They are working all the most dirtiest rivers they have chosen, and one by one they are doing. So that's why one by one they have come up with different solutions. Mostly they are working in the Mekong and in Malaysian rivers right now, I guess. They are also flower waste, etc. might be there. So I think if they come, they might be able to see something and come up with solutions, right? But what I have seen in Hyderabad, I think Hussain Sagar Lake and in some place, this is bad, but at least they have started monitoring now.
Yes,
First is also monitor. Is anybody, IIT can at least monitor, no? The technology is now available. What is the pollutant level? What are the different pollutants which are doing? Any case, we all say without measurement, we don't know. So let's start even understanding and to make this point clear to the community that this simple act, this is the level of maybe harmful paints or pigments you are putting, that is creating that. So I think always that awareness building again should come with some data, with some belief, and then slowly that one part is people's awareness, and that might result in something. The other is the technological solution of actual cleanup, and both are possible. It's not that nothing can be done, right? At least in this, since this is within IIT, this should be possible to monitor that level. But again, who will do it, which department, I don't know. It will go in loops for some years, but
Sir, again, if I give you, if I take the example from her, she's talking about a lake. Now, if I talk about Ganga, especially near Kolkata, that Babughat area, municipal corporation had taken the initiative of cleaning up the waste which comes after the pujas and everything. Very good. They always say that you cannot, take off everything, all the flower garlands and everything, and keep it aside. Only the figure would be immersed in the water. This is done. Now, these are very few moments, every puja that we are seeing. That waste is being segregated and kept aside. Very good. But every day
to day.
Babughat, it's kind of a recreation place. People go over there and they have that chai and coffee, everything, sir. In the morning, if you go, when we go for morning walks, they are picking up the waste. They are putting in the bins and everything. And where are they discarding? Just outside. Just taking it from here and releasing in the river again. So what is happening, we really don't know. Even, sir, we had in our area, ward number 46, they, one day they all came from the municipality. They came to us to, educate us regarding the dry waste, wet waste and all those. Segregation, so you have to segregate it likewise. And they said that we will give you bins according to that. When actually the bins came, it was just one bin. And that too without any clear notification. Maybe, 5 minutes of a talk, we understood, we heard, and it gone. They never made another initiative to give a leaflet wherein the segregation is to be done. And even where we will be doing in 3 different, that 3 was also not that, it reduced to 1. And we can understand it's always the middlemen who are there, which
Some
is
contractors, they have
Yes.
not delivered. Other
And
bills
even
so
for
on.
the contractors also, sir, there is another story from their end. When you are talking to them, they are
they will
saying
say
that they are taking tenders and obviously
where
a
the
part of
money
the
is
money
going.
is going. So we really don't know whom to trust and where to start and where to end.
Yeah, it's very different.
Doing a lot of ad hoc measures. There is no scientific, kind of thing. That segregation. Like I tell you, like she's right. One unique feature of our, water waste is, like she mentioned about religious customs, etc. And we know, like Durga Puja immersion, you have to immerse those things. What we have to actually look at is, if you look at the idols also, so clay is okay, but there are some paints and etc.
yes.
which also
Yes.
cause actually lot of
More lot of
yeah,
harm, that's
like
what I
heavy
said.
metals are there and etc. So even if you pick it up or there are
Yes. So, it has to happen at the design
at
stage,
that
and that is a very big challenge.
so
educating them.
you have to think these people, that's what I'm saying na, that the governance is a very important part, and you have to actually go back and root cause analysis, or why is it happening. It's just not like you
And who
are
is going to bail that cat? This is also so much social issues. If something you're now in Kumartuli, if you go and say you have to use different kinds of paint, what the cost will increase, nobody is going to take those tough decisions. No?
Previously, in the traditional days, they used the herbal colors only.
Yes,
But
yes.
because of the
Cost.
rain and everything, they wanted the paint to be there, not
Yeah.
to be washed
Washed
off.
away.
So they opted for the chemicals, and now when they are immersing, we can see the chemical is being split on the water.
Yeah.
Totally.
Mumbai is doing a really unique thing. After Ganesh Chaturthi, the Ganpati idols used to be immersed in the ocean. And to stop that, and to stop the really harmful paint from getting mixed in the water, they have started building really small pools, like children's pools kind of things. And they immerse the Ganpati statue in that water. And they have also encouraged, even I think celebrity parents also are encouraging their kids to build their own Ganpatis. And it's also a holistic activity for the whole family. That the whole family comes to build the idol, and then that idol is only worshipped in the house. So I think Mumbai is coming up with a always a step ahead, I think, of us.
these best practices, like India is such a vast and diverse country, And that madam was saying that, you have literally, within the Indian subcontinent,
Almost
you
every-
can adopt best practices, but it is the mindset,
change.
like I give you that example, Karnataka mein they have already used blockchain for land deeds registration.
That's very common,
Why
yeah.
can't the others do it?
Southern
So-
states always, Telangana and Karnataka, yes, they have done. Okay. It's for us to getting inspired. We cannot solve all the problem. You asked e-waste. I tried to find out something. Again, I don't know a lot about it, but I also read. So again, the opportunities are huge. Only 83% of this, 83% is not collected. Only 17% of the e-waste globally is collected. So it's a huge opportunity. And the numbers are kind of quite staggering. So 350 million tons of unrecycled e-waste, 70% of all the toxic waste, and 50 tons of mercury are lost every year through the e-waste. But if you see again, within Europe also there is a huge variation. But see, lot of countries on average itself is more than kind of 11-12 kg per inhabitant. So every person every year is kind of bringing in 12 kg. That means there is a formal process of collecting, as I was saying. Austria is highest in this. And then the government also comes up with very stringent things. Right? So one thing which we always wondered is these chargers. So now in Europe they will have this USB Type-C charger, which will be common for everything, all electric devices by end of 24 possibly happened, and for laptops it will come in 26. Plus this right to repair thing has come up, and this is mandated. So companies, whoever is selling, they will require the sellers to repair the products unless it is cheaper to replace them. So they have to repair. You have to take back to the company and they have to repair it at whatever cost, and that unless it is, so that means they are forcing the companies to repair and the products, unless the product is even cheaper that repair, they have to actually do it. And beyond the guarantee, it will provide rights to make repairs easier and cheaper. So this is also putting a lot of pressure on companies, no doubt. But European Union in this kind of sense, they are very stringent and ahead. Nobody can bend the rules possibly.
I would like to make a point here, sir. In India, if you adopt this, I can tell you for sure that they will do that, but give you a quotation for repair, which will make you think twice whether it is feasible to go in for repair or whether to buy it outright.
Right now, even in Europe, everywhere the repair is very costly. Actually, much costly. So this will be very difficult for companies to do. Because any service is very costly in the developed world. It's
Maybe the reason may be because now you see we have moved to that era where everything is coming so compact. Trillion components on small chip.
It's very
And then you just imagine how we can repair that.
So that as
So
an
maybe
individual, we need to have that skill to do it. Right?
so maybe to handle this, maybe the first thing is here is the use scope where we can talk about the life expansion of the products. And second thing is what we can here we can deal with this problem is we can design in modules. Let's say in this screen, if someday maybe the sound system is not working properly, so I can just remove the sound module and then we'll plug in the new one. So maybe small chip like other drivers. So you just imagine if we are using desktop also. So after 3, 4, 5 years, they are replacing recently in our department, I think more than 200 systems replaced. What will happen? The outer part, body, and nothing is going to happen. So only the inside system, we can remove those modules and plug in new modules, and maybe we can limit that waste in that way also. So
this is a big area of research. I mean, this modularity and this design for serviceability, repairability has been there for many years, but now we have moved.
But the thing is how
moved
we can
away
implement.
also because of these things. No? So
things are there for collection also, things are there for everything, but how much we are doing that? You just see how nowadays the trend is every 2 or 3 years we are changing mobile phone. You just imagine 2 and 3 years is the age. So how much waste we are, what we are doing with those old mobiles. So
What you are saying, in PSUs also now, there are a lot of PSUs still go by that L1. So they are also dictated by the price.
lowest,
So you might have options and you actually look at the TCO
TCO concept and total, you know, but
L1 is also very dangerous in many ways.
but what happens is they have got those, you know, kind of mandates, SOPs. So if you look at that, totality might be, you know, there are options of model, but you have chosen that product that after some time you have to actually discard it altogether that way. And you are right about those, you know, L1 things, because the supplier also knows कि हमको, they know that इस ये company में हमारा ये चाहिए, तो उसमें मतलब they will compromise on something. So there is a saying na that cheaper goods are dearer in the long run. So there will definitely be some.
That has never happened. So whether this is TCO, things will come. I mean, at least in L1 there is a technical qualification and then the cost. But maybe in that part of technical, the sustainability things have to be included. But public procurement, who is going to touch that? That is so.
Actually, it is not L1. So how they are adjusting the L1? That's why I'm telling you, because the person who is selling you that product will get the payment in minimum 4 months. Anyhow, he is not going to reduce the price. But the only thing is the other players are phased out. Only those are there, and anyhow they will get.
Sir, एक supplier ही 3 नाम से दे
Yes,
देता है.
that is the. Anyways, chai wala is waiting.
Okay, since we are continuing this
Sir, I
discussion
have an
also.
opinion to share. As we know, in Kolkata, there's a huge celebration of Durga Puja. And the chemical and the paint which is used to make the idol, which is quite harmful. But still in 2021, Durga Puja is enlisted in UNESCO representative list. Yeah. So instead of all this negative after effect on environment, how you know this festival is enlisted on this list?
So उसका evaluation अलग है. They have not studied the sustainability impact. So, okay, we will continue. There is lot of interesting things to discuss further.